I think that it's crucial to this business rather than just throwing something in a vendor's hands and expecting them to work their magic. It truly is a partnership. It takes 2 people to make this work. It actually takes like 30 people to make it work.
You're listening to Reply Talk, a podcast designed to provide actionable marketing strategies and valuable insights around apartment marketing, hosted by Corbin Wright.
All right. So we got episode number 12. Number 12 is a big one, man. This one's close to my heart. It's going to be our anniversary podcast. 1 year.
1 year.
So we have been in business a little over a year now, but our anniversary date is what, May 1st?
May 1st, yeah.
Yeah. So
Beginning of April 2018.
And I was like, hey, man, you got 30 days.
You got 30 days. Can you get here? Sure can.
Sure can.
Drove up. And
where'd you drive up from?
Florida, yeah. All the way down in Tampa, gave me that call, and I made the commitment, drove on up, and we got rolling end of April, technically May 1st. So
haven't let the foot off the gas pedal, man.
No, I think we're averaging about 100 hours a week right now.
Yeah, well,
it's fun. Gotta do what you gotta do,
it's
right?
fun. That's why the year's flown by.
That's right.
So anniversary podcast, we're gonna kind of go over some obstacles that we faced, and some wins,
trials, tribulations, wins, thank yous, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you why don't you go ahead and hop into some of the initial steps, right? Where we start?
So where we started. So I started with Cortland. I was previously at Cortland, and then I realized that there were some gaps in the industry, and I had this vision, and I created some software that worked, and I saw the value, but it's just ready to make that next step, and haven't really looked back. Things are cruising along, and we're fortunate to have them as a customer, and I guess that's the first part is like thank you to them.
Great friends, great partners.
Yeah, for trusting us and really giving us the shot to create more value for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but started out, man, there, then left, and we were in the garage. We were in the office above my garage.
Above the garage office.
That I hadn't even built yet.
Yeah.
So we started out there, and then after that, that was just way too close of quarters, and then we graduated to the WeWork, and we did the whole WeWork thing for like 3 months. We were neighbors with Fetty Wap.
Yeah, for a little while.
Fetty Wap took our old office.
Yeah, we moved out so they could move in.
Yeah. So went through WeWork, and then as we started to grow, then we moved our way into this office. So after 6-7 months, we are now in our office now, full team. We've tripled, quadrupled in size within the year, and we've tripled, quadrupled 6-7 times in customers. But it's been it's been a fun ride, and we're gonna keep going. And I would say let's start out with the biggest challenge. So I think, what do you think the biggest challenge has been?
One of the biggest challenges entering the multifamily industry, right? And maybe not necessarily a challenge for you, right? But a challenge for me and for anybody that we brought on the team that's not necessarily got the background that you do in the multifamily industry is kind of gaining that trust and developing those relationships, and committing to providing a higher level of service and developing those relationships than anybody else is willing to do, right? Committing to your customers and providing that highest level of service that they may not have been used to getting. So, utilizing the relationships you had and piggybacking off of the relationships and promising you that I wouldn't let anybody down that we brought on board by providing that highest level of service. So that was probably my biggest struggle or biggest obstacle was getting in the door. But I knew once I got my foot in the door and once I started to meet a lot of the people in the industry that my level of commitment to their success and our success would ultimately develop those relationships and no longer make that an obstacle.
For sure. Yeah, I agree. And it's told you from the very beginning that this industry is very relational. It's very it's all about relationships, but relationships only get you so far, and it comes down to, are you delivering? And there's a couple other there's several things too that play into this of transparency and service,
right?
Like the fact of always being available and actually getting a response to your emails and your
getting a reply,
and that was something that was frustrating to me,
right?
When I was in the position of nobody was transparent with any of the data. They didn't have the things in place to be able to give me what I needed to make strategic decisions with my marketing. And that was frustrating. Or when I would ask somebody, I'd send them an email and say, hey, can I get some insight or data around these metrics? Oh, well, we can't give that to you.
We can't share that to you.
Can't share that, yeah. Or it was just beating around the bush. That's where we really started to.
We started to get a lot of commitment, right, and gain a lot of trust. Was, hey, no, we're gonna put this data in front of you. We're gonna set this up in your account. We're gonna do this the right way, and that's where maybe some application from outside this industry really benefited us for the long term, right? This is how it's done everywhere else. Why isn't it done this way for you? Oh, well, it's never been this way. Well, it's gonna start to be.
I call it bullshit.
Yeah. So
and,
true.
and I think that's why we've been successful, is because we're not afraid to call bullshit on this stuff that the multifamily industry was just getting for so long.
Well, and there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it, right? So, we're not going to be rude or call anybody out, right? But we know the right way to do it, right? And if you're not getting that way and you ask for it, if you're not getting it that way and you ask for it and it's still not willing to be done for you, well, you know somebody that can do it for you, right? And this is why, because it's the right way.
It is. But to go back to where we started, we started out as a communication software company, and I've always had the vision of where we're going to get to, and I didn't realize that we would get there as quickly as we needed to. But we have pivoted. We have pivoted quite a bit, or I guess followed our roadmap.
It's a swear
faster.
Word. It's a swear word.
I know.
Don't do it.
But we followed. We've grown way quicker than I could have ever expected. And so we started out as that's where REPLI comes from. We started out as a SMS, email, voice broadcast software, but what we've realized is we can provide so much more value in this industry by taking a vertically integrated approach to multifamily marketing, digital marketing, because that's just one piece of it. And the fact that so many things intertwine and work together in the digital marketing world is, we can be that solution, and that's always been our plan and our goal. But starting with custom websites, your landing pages, having an agency in-house that controls your software too, your landing pages, everything together, so that you can create this strategy that's in line.
Yeah.
Nothing's fragmented.
Sure. And if you want to talk about like some of the obstacles that we've run into from the beginning, how we've kind of jumped past those obstacles and how we've been able to grow so quickly, right, is a combination of what we just talked about, right? It's the relationships that we've been able to develop, and we do a whole bunch of cool shit too. Right, so all the things that you're looking for that you had to go a bunch of different places for, we do it all, right? And by the way, we provide a level of service that you're probably have never been used to before. So we do a whole bunch of cool shit, and we're pretty cool people that do the right thing for the right reason, right? We hustle our asses off. We work as hard as we possibly can for our customers, and we try to reciprocate for that for our employees too. So I think it was a perfect storm of all of those things. And we've been able to take advantage of it and run with it, and we plan to continue both of those things and do them both very well.
Absolutely. And that's never something that's going to go out of our business model, is service. That's the number one thing, and making sure that we're always available and that we actually provide the transparency and the metrics and the data, and we can back that up and give that to our customers. So I think that's how we've built a lot of trust, and we are human. There are mistakes, especially in the software industry.
But you know what, though? When there's mistakes, just own up to it.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think that's been one of our other biggest things. Like, you know what, if you mess up, like just own it. Yeah. Right. Because the more you try to hide it, the worse you're going to make it. So just own up to it, make it right, do the right thing, and move on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed. So yeah, I'd say the, big obstacle was for you getting that trust in this industry. What about like learning the multifamily quirks and stuff? How was that?
I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
There's so many different quirks, right? And just when you think you're starting to learn most of it, right, there's something else that comes up. So I committed and dedicated myself to learning this industry and finding out as much as I possibly could. So there's a whole lot of sleep that hasn't been had over the last year, and it's not gonna be had over the next couple of years. But that's the kind of commitment you need to make to grow a company and to be successful, especially with the startups that's growing like ours. Yes. Do you want me to talk about any quirks in particular that you're thinking about? Because we'd be here for a couple hours.
Yeah.
But multifamily is very different, right? But there's some things that I've been able to apply from other industries, like the level of service and some other things that have definitely helped.
Great. So that's another thing that I was big on when starting the company. I came from the multifamily industry, but when I got into the multifamily industry, I was on the other side of the spectrum. I was in hospitality, restaurants. I had the bars and restaurants, and that is just a completely different game. But having that outside industry experience, I was able to apply a lot of the marketing that I did with those, which is a huge grind. I mean, that is a super saturated market. You've got a restaurant, bar, a nightclub on every single corner. And
how do you separate yourself?
It was tough, but starting REPLI and the people that we've brought on, we brought on a few people from the multifamily space, but we really embrace bringing people outside of this industry and having them learn about this. And the way that they learn is by talking to our customers. And I think that's the biggest thing about our company is that it's a partnership rather than just being a vendor. Mm-hmm. We truly embrace the partnership, and we can. It could probably be annoying at sometimes, the amount of times that we call our customers or are on the phone with the customers.
Yeah.
But I think that it's crucial to this business, rather than just throwing something in a vendor's hands and expecting them to work their magic. It truly is a partnership. It takes two people to make this work. It actually takes like 30 people to make it work, because there's so many.
A bunch of software.
Yeah, software, but there's so many moving parts. But we'll never change that.
Well, and I think an important part to that is, right, if you're not willing to not necessarily commit to us, right, and maybe that's not the best word, but like, we're willing to commit to you as a partner. We need you to commit to us and giving us some information, giving us some time so we can do what's right and we can commit our time to you, right? Because if we both make that level of commitment, we both develop that partnership, it's only going to work better. And that's been a foundational piece of our business, and that's going to continue to be a foundational part of our business. That's how we're going to continue to grow, and that's how we're going to continue on with these partnerships and these relationships.
Agreed, and it's worked. I mean, it's worked out well. So I guess some big wins. Like what some big wins? Growing.
Growth. Hiring great people. I shy away from saying like any big wins from like a personal business growth, but more or less like employees that we've brought on, great team members that we've brought on, great relationships that we've developed. We got to go over to the UK and participate in the UK. We've done some really great things with our customers and with our employees, and I think that's the most valuable part about all this for me. I don't know about you, but I would venture to say the same.
Yeah, and I don't know. I love helping people, and I like seeing the results.
Right.
And I think that our biggest win is that is some of the things that we've done different. We don't do things by the book. Landing pages.
Well, and it's cool to hear that too. Like, you guys are way easier to work with. That's a big win for me.
Yeah.
Right?
because they're the easiest people to work we've ever worked with.
That's a cool one too.
Yeah, that was
recently.
Yeah, that was super cool. And some other, like, looking at our numbers for our customers and seeing the increase in conversions, the lower cost per clicks, the leads that are generated, the amount of leases, their leasing conversion ratios and stuff. That's the stuff that I guess I saw that before, and I worked with that, and like I see where it was and then where they can be now. And that just gets me fired up. Like, seeing our customers win, really, like, that lights a fire.
And I will piggyback off of that. I think another big win, for us, or for me in particular, in developing these relationships is, hey, I need your help.
Yeah.
Like, that, to me, that's cool. Like, I need your help. Like, we have this project. We need your help. That's probably one of the best things that's happened in this year, is when customers come to us after a certain amount of time, or come to me specifically, and they trust me enough to say, hey, I need your help.
Yeah.
That's
the hardest thing to say. That's the single hardest thing to do
is ask for help
in life, is ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And it does. It feels good. It feels good that we can provide that value and the level of service, and the knowledge too, the industry knowledge of digital marketing and multifamily.
Yeah.
And I'd say another, other big wins is like creating the solution for somebody's vision. Say they had something that they wanted to do that they're really trying to roll out from a digital standpoint, from like a website, or they had this vision. It's like the resident referral thing that we just built out, the website, and having this whole process. And it took us a while.
Sure.
It took longer than what than
any of us anticipated.
Yeah.
Right. And we're still
tweaking
a little bit, but it's bringing the vision to light. We're almost there.
And it's cool to be able to develop these things that nobody else has in the industry.
Right.
And it's just really cool to our success comes through our customer success, but it just that's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
Is the fact that when they're happy, and it's like, oh wow, this turned out way better than what I anticipated.
Yeah.
So
let's wrap this thing up. Let's
yeah.
give a couple thank yous, and then
So with our anniversary podcast, thank you to all of our customers for trusting us, and for allowing us to have this relationship with you and your business, and just being awesome. Yeah, man, it's been fun. It's
been a lot of fun. I just want to say thank you to our team. We've got an amazing team here. Thank you to all of our customers, and thank you, homie.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's our anniversary podcast, episode number 12. If you can, give us a like, give us a 5-star rating, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube,
Google Play,
yeah,
Spotify,
everything.
Yeah, be here for a week, listen to all that.
Yeah, everything. So biggest thing is ratings. Rate us.
Subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on LinkedIn. Yep. Engage with our content. Yep. Just engage with us. We'll engage with you. So
and if you have any questions, reach out to us.
Sure.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you on the next episode.